where did the $4,300 go? Why isn't the city asking why CHA was overpaid by $4,300? Why do they not care about that? These are some of the key players. City Manager Mario Gisbert, CEO of CHA, Rick Mellon, Project Manager and girlfriend of City Manager at the time, Jennifer Walgamot, the company CHA. Why is nobody asking who got the money? We're asking, and we're gonna find out.
I never found out, but now the FBI wants to know. So, you know, the city had some, Councilman Jeff McConnell was nice enough to bring me in, and he brought the city attorney, and he brought a whole bunch of people. And they explained to me why I was crazy. That ZHA is on the up and up, that the contract was good. And so you'll see that they've been subpoenaed. We'll find out. But this is the kind of reporting I think that can bring this kind of attention. That's watchdog journalism to me. That's investigative reporting. And that's what we need more, I think, in America to hold government accountable. And I just picked one, just to show you. I'm not trying to rehash anything, but I could have picked a lot of stuff that I've been reporting. Whether it's the ZHA contract or whether it's former councilman Hector Solis committing election fraud by misleading voters, saying he was a retired federal law enforcement officer. Or whether it was Mayor Mike Thomas trading a road for a vote with developer Bill Carr, whose accounting firm audits the city every year, and Derwin White during the vote, who is been implicated in the latest FBI indictment for a massive height increase on a waterfront resort across the street from the mayor's diner. Does this not sound like somebody ought to be looking into it? Nobody did. Good journalists, I think, are curious people. And at their core, they're snoops, to be honest with you. At the core, a good journalist is just a snoop. And they snoop on those in power who hold sway over the rest of us. And I really hold journalism as a sacred craft. And without it, politicians would lord over us unchecked. But here's what I hope you walk away with tonight. Watchdog journalism relies on two things. Sources who trust you enough to tell you when they see wrongdoing, and public records. Public records so that we can back up our stories and build on them. Without sources and without public records, government secrets stack higher and higher and higher. And the city of Panama City Beach did all they could to put the kibosh on these two things. They began forcing out or firing anybody they thought was my inside source. 2 city clerks who now have filed whistleblower lawsuits against the city. 2 building officials, one whose wife is here with us tonight. He wasn't fired, but he left early because they thought he was one of my inside sources and they treated him terribly. And there are more. A code enforcement officer. They even sued me in another lawsuit. Hector Solis, former councilman, sued me in another defamation lawsuit. They all lost, by the way. Who saw the depositions when I deposed them myself on YouTube? We were going to get to the truth one way or another. So he sued me, and one of the reasons he sued me was to try to find out who my sources were. During discovery, he demanded to know, who are your sources inside City Hall? And I invoked journalistic privilege. And thank God it was upheld by the court in the 14th Circuit. Then city manager, Mario Gisbert, you know what he did? He rounded up all the government phones. And he began looking and cross-referencing their phone calls and their emails, all of them, to see who'd been talking to Burnie Thompson. He wanted to punish them. Everyone inside of City Hall became a suspect. Not only did they not discover who my inside source was, they motivated others inside City Hall to become inside sources because they were being mistreated now. And with regard to public records, you know what they did? they passed City Resolution 17-146, that's in your packet. It makes it too expensive to get public records now. To get the kind of documents that led to the type of stories that I was breaking, like the Fakakta study that led to the new multi-million-dollar city hall on the other side of the bridge and on this side of the bridge. Their new policy, 17-146, of course, the one page that indicates how much they charge is the one page missing on that one. But they charge 2 minutes review per page. Here's what the city says. We need to take every single page, no matter how many sentences are on the page, even blank pages, even pamphlets, every single page, and we have to sit for 2 minutes and review the page. And we have to see if there's any confidential evidence, confidential stuff on the email, if there's any sensitive. So if you order, since you can review only, well, you could, if it was a 1 minute per page review, you could review 60 pages in a minute, right? 1 minute per page. In 60 minutes, you review 60 pages. If it's 2 minutes a page, you can only review 30 pages. So the person who does the review makes $50 an hour. So now I have to pay, you ready for this? $50 to get 30 pages of public records. That's $1.67 per page. That's what the city of Panama City Beach is doing. Now, when you talk to the attorneys over there and to the officials over there, they'll say Burnie doesn't know what he's talking about, which is why I included in your packet an email. I highlighted it. It's an email where I asked for public records. It was in July of this year. And they said, sure, Burnie, just give us $3,350, and we will give you, you can read the public record request. Tell me if that was an unreasonable request. All I needed to do was give the city $3,350. Does anybody think that's right? City officials, well, and that, by the way, was devised, that little scheme, 2 minutes per page was devised by PCB City Attorney Cole Davis. And here's what local governments like to do. And Hector Solis said as much one time, when he was advised during a meeting by the city attorney, maybe we shouldn't do that. He said, why not? Unless we're challenged in court, we can do whatever we want. And he's right. And I don't, I did it. I'll tell you, it's very painful. If more people did it, they'd stop doing it. Until they have skin in the game, they'll continue to do these kinds of things. The city attorneys, by the way, have, instead of advising them, like Doug Sale did back in the day, kept them within bumper rails. Now they look for go-arounds. That's their job. Go find a way around this, and if it hasn't been challenged, we'll try it. No one's going to challenge it. No one's going to sue us, and that's what they do. But you know, these pages, it doesn't take 2 minutes per page. And every page, by the way, does not need review, right? The state statute does allow city governments to charge extensive fees, but it doesn't require it. Think about that. It allows it, but it doesn't require it. So any candidate who's running for office to restore public trust, one question could be, are you going to require it? And you know, we could always have a council member or something that says, hey, I got an idea. Since we're charging all this money, why don't we put a certain amount of money in the pot to help out the next round of public record requests? They don't need to do that, and not every page needs to be reviewed. This is a way for them to obstruct. And without public records, you don't have any watchdog journalism. For the past 6 years,